Hello, everyone. Right. Hi, Mahad.
वालेकुम, क्या हाल है आपका?
Welcome. Sound good. Good to see you, man. It's been a while.
I think it's been I think 2 years.
2 years, yeah. We were in Islamabad in Orto's office, ना?
हाँ, ऑर्टिस ऑफिस हाँ, G10 या G9 में था शायद.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, Teham.
Mahad, thank
Hello.
you for taking out time for this event and giving us your volunteer time and helping the Pakistani talent to to get a chance to polish their skills, especially in the LinkedIn presence, how they can improve their LinkedIn and resumes. So thank you so much, and we can wait for five 5 minutes
Yeah,
for others to join.
Sure.
cool.
I think Mahad, you can take over, and we can continue with this session. Uh, and welcome to every attendees, and thank you for joining. Over to you, Mahad.
Thank you, Deham. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. Saturday afternoon, everyone has their plans, so it really means a lot that you guys showed up and you're eager to learn something. A bit of my introduction. I have been in the education space for over 5 years now. I've worked at multiple startups. I have worked in product commercial operations. Lekin currently I am building Career Launchpad. Career Launchpad basically is a platform for young professionals to build the employability skills. We work with universities and industry to bridge the gap between them, and we are involved in a lot of like soft skills trainings as well. So today we're going to talk about two major things. One of them is LinkedIn. One of them is LinkedIn. The other is resume writing. So I some housekeeping rules. I would appreciate if you have any questions, please open your mic and just speak up. And if there's anything, you can also write in the chat as well. We'll start with uh, resume first, or I would highly appreciate everyone to make notes. These are very important things that I'm going to discuss. Let's do this. Let me just share my screen. I hope my screen is visible. Isn't is my screen visible? I think I can't hear you. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. So before we like start, I would like to ask all of you, like, do you know the difference between a resume and a CV?
Uh, I think a resume is just a whole sum of your career and what you've been through education wise, and I believe CV is a cover letter for your for that particular job role which you're applying for. That is what I think.
Okay. Anyone else? Come on, guys, speak up. Then, like, no wrong answers. I really don't want to take names. Okay. So basically, resume is like a targeted version of your CV, whereas and is targeted towards a job role you're applying for, and is like short and crisp. But CVs are very extensive. They contain all of your work experience, regardless of the role you're applying for. So CV can go as long as like 3-4 pages, but a resume is between like 1 to 2 pages. So पाकिस्तान में ये दोनों terms interchangeably use होती हैं. So लेकिन I've never seen someone like be very specific about if they want a CV or a resume. So people usually do not know the difference. So they just use the term interchangeably. So CVs contain all of your work experiences, regardless of the role you're applying for, whereas resumes are very targeted towards the job role you're applying for, are very concise and crisp. So take a guess how many resumes like an HR receives on average for a role.
1,000 plus easily.
Yeah. So honestly, on average, Pakistan mein, okay, these numbers are for the worldwide. Like in Pakistan, mein, I have seen roles exceeding 1,000 resumes for one role. So it is really important for you to stand out in those 1,000 resumes. So how do you actually stand out? So that is where like resume writing, your CV writing comes in, right? सो इसको हम बहुत ज़्यादा पाकिस्तान में मैंने नोटिस किया है कि वी जस्ट ट्रीट इट एज अनदर डॉक्यूमेंट, एज अनदर लाइक फॉर्मेलिटी, लेकिन दिस इज गोइंग टू मेक और ब्रेक योर लाइक जॉब एप्लीकेशन, क्योंकि द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट रिक्रूटर लुक्स एट इज डेफिनेटली योर रेज्यूमे. सो उसके बाद जो हमारे पास है कि हाउ मच टाइम डू यू थिंक एन HR spends on one resume?
Couple of seconds or maybe a minute.
Okay, anyone else from the audience? You can write in chat as well. 5 minutes. Okay. Okay. So SN was pretty close. They just look at your resume for like 6 to 7 seconds, and in those 6 to 7 seconds, they have to make a decision either to like shortlist your resume or not. So this is very important that you have like a clean and tidy format as well. So अब क्या हो रहा है कि अब companies use ATS. ATS, like, do you guys know what is an ATS?
Yeah, I believe it's a tool slash software for the HR department, which narrows down the accurate candidate that you want. But they go through resumes. They put all the resumes in the system, and at the end, they just give you from 1,000. They give you like 5 to 10 resumes. Okay, these are the keywords that the system picked up, and okay, this is a potential good candidate for this particular role. That is of
I
my
mean,
understanding.
नहीं, very on spot, you are absolutely right. So ATS stands for Applicant Tracking System. So अब क्या होता है कि 1,000 resumes जब आती हैं तो वो किसी के लिए रिव्यू करना मैनुअली बैठ के इज सॉर्ट ऑफ इम्पॉसिबल, राइट? कि आप पहले, सो यू जस्ट डू नॉट हैव टू लुक एट resumes, you also have to organize them और फिर उसको डाउनलोड करना है या प्रिंट करना है, जो भी करना है. So what like companies usually do is कि they have these ATS softwares, applicant tracking softwares, जो उसके अंदर रेजुमेस ऑटोमेटिकली फीड होती हैं, जो आपने देखा होगा बेम्बू HR है या बिजी HR है, उस तरह की कंपनीज जब जॉब रोल आता है तो उस तरह के लिंक्स पे आपने अप्लाई करना होता है. तो उसके अंदर कंपनी ने पहले जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन लोड किया हुआ होता है, और उसकी बेसिस पे अब वो जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन से सिमिलैरिटी की बेसिस पे आपकी रेजुमे शॉर्टलिस्ट होती हैं. जितनी रेजुमे आपकी जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन से सिमिलर होगी, जो आपका वर्क एक्सपीरियंस वो सिमिलर होगा, उतने चांसेस ज़्यादा होंगे आपकी शॉर्टलिस्ट होने के. सो दैट मीन्स कि आपको हर रोल के लिए एक अलग रेज्यूमे बनाना पड़ेगी इफ़ यू वांट टू गेट शॉर्टलिस्टेड. देयर इज नो लाइक वन साइज फिट्स ऑल अप्रोच. अगर आप कहेंगे कि यार मैंने एक दफ़ा अपनी रेज्यूमे बना ली और वो मैं हर जगह यूज़ करूँगा, तो चांसेस आर यू आर लाइक यू नॉट गोना सक्सीड. So you would have to tailor your resume to every job role that you're applying for. So this is very important. लोग सुस्ती करते हैं और बिल्कुल भी नहीं करते हैं. अब तो ज़्यादातर AI आ गया है, तो that has made a lot of things easier. लेकिन also it is very important to use AI responsibly and not just फारिग सा prompt दे के उससे आप सारा काम करवा लें. बेहतर है कि आप थोड़ा सा उसको बार बार आइटरेट करें, राइट अ गुड prompt as well. ठीक है, now let's dive into के how to like actually make your resumes. So सबसे पहले what makes a resume attractive is कि आपकी जो 6 to 7 seconds है, अगर उन्होंने मैन्युअली रिव्यू किया है, तो जो इनकंसिस्टेंट फॉर्मेटिंग है, दैट इज अ ह्यूज रेड फ्लैग. वो एकदम आपका इंप्रेशन जो होता है ना, वो बिल्कुल सही नहीं बनता. ठीक है, यू ऑल्सो नीड टू मेक श्योर कि यू आर नॉट लाइक बहुत ज़्यादा वर्बोज नहीं है, बहुत ज़्यादा इंफॉर्मेशन एक पेज पे नहीं है. देयर शुड बी ब्रीदिंग स्पेस फॉर द आई टू लुक अराउंड, लाइक थोड़ी सी वाइट स्पेस भी होनी चाहिए, बिल्कुल सारा टेक्स्ट हैवी नहीं होना चाहिए. और बाकी चीज़ें हम इसको बाद में देखते हैं. आई विल आल्सो शेयर लाइक अ टेम्पलेट विद यू गाइस. ये हमने कर लिया. अच्छा, सो ये इसको आप नोट कर लें. काफ़ी लोग इस चीज़ को मतलब थोड़ा सा इसमें आप क्या कहते हैं, चेंजिंग क्लास होते हैं, लेकिन मोस्टली आपको यही फॉलो करना चाहिए. सो एट द वेरी टॉप दे शुड बी कॉन्टैक्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन. सो आई हैव सीन पीपल राइट wrong emails, wrong contact numbers. HR is like trying to call them and they didn't like proofread their resume. So please make sure that you're putting your contact information right, and also do not put shiny and fancy emails as well. So पाकिस्तान में I've seen a trend के स्पेशली यंग टैलेंट की जो पुरानी बचपन की रेज्यूमे बचपन की ईमेल होती हैं, प्रिंसेस डॉट पता नहीं कुछ इस तरह के, प्रिंस माथ mahad@gmail.com. So please do not use those emails. Make them very professional. अगर आपका first name dot last name at gmail.com नहीं है, just add a couple of digits at the end. So in the other another section that I've seen missing in most resumes that I get is professional summary slash career objective. So this is very very important because in like 3-4 liners, it gives an idea to the recruiter कि what is your background, what has been your experience, and what are you looking for. So Pakistan mein there is no clarity, like mostly ke what people want to do. So yeah, and an employer does not want a clueless employee. So they are looking for someone who has clarity on what they're seeking. So we're going to discuss each section one by one as well. If you have any questions, you can write in the chat. You can open up your mic. You can speak as well. Please make this conversation more engaging and interactive. वरना मैं यहाँ 1.5 घंटा बोल के चला जाऊंगा और आपको कोई फायदा नहीं होगा. That would be a waste of time. So make sure you clear all your questions. Make sure you write notes as well. ठीक है. सबसे पहले हमने बात कर ली इसकी कॉन्टैक्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन की, फर्स्ट नेम लास्ट नेम. इसमें एक चीज़ थोड़ी सी ज़्यादा लिखी हुई है. अस्क्री 14 मैंशनड. आई वुड यूजली मैंशन के सिटी तक हो, सही है, और बाकी तो वही स्टैंडर्ड चीज़ है. लिंक्डइन प्रोफाइल इसमें इन्होंने मेंशन मेरे से मिस होगी थोड़ी सी, लेकिन लिंक्डइन प्रोफाइल भी आपकी हेडर में आ जानी चाहिए. उसके बाद समरी की बात कर लेते हैं कि हाउ टू राइट अ समरी. सो मैंने जैसे पहले बताया कि इट शुड बी वेरी concise and give the employer clarity on what type of role you're seeking, and it should also be tailored to the role you're applying for, like, or your resume should be tailored to the role you're applying for. So मैंने अभी मेरा Salesforce के साथ इतना ज़्यादा इंटरेक्शन नहीं है, मतलब I just know a tiny bit about it. So I just had ChatGPT write a professional summary when I was preparing for this presentation. So मैंने उसको 3-4 दफ़ा prompt दे के iterate करवाया. So this is something would look good to an employer कि आपकी अगर resume इस तरह का प्रोफाइल समरी हो ना, तो उस तरह की बेहतर लगेगी. So मैं आपको बताता हूँ आपने कब समरी यूज़ करनी है, कब करियर ऑब्जेक्टिव यूज़ करना है. If you have like less than 2 years of experience, use a career objective. If you have like 4 or 5 years of experience, तो use a professional summary. ठीक है. Please take a minute to read this, and then we'll discuss कि इसमें क्या क्या चीज़ें हो रही हैं that are good for the employer and how they stand out. Okay, so I want you guys to write, okay, what's good in this professional summary. If you can speak up, that would be great. If you can't, you can write in the chat.
I think it's really good from my perspective from what I've seen. I've seen resumes, we've done interviews, so it's really good to start off with a very strong point which is written right away here. That's certified Salesforce administrator. That goes out very loud that okay, this candidate, this potential candidate is certified in this particular role. That is something really good. Mentioning your trailhead badges, that number, that figure, adding super badges to it, that pronounces your profile real loud that okay, this candidate has the potential. This is not someone who has only worked in the industry but has learned from the original platform, which is Trailhead. And yeah, along the way, I believe this other information as well, which is quite useful. So yeah, this is a somewhat good, I would say, summary or for a resume, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ali, definitely इसमें जो stand out करी चीज़ वो numbers है. इसमें it
Hello.
shows कि the candidate has put an effort to learn, like
Hello.
से certification की हुई है उसने, trailhead पे वो active है. उसके अलावा उसने बताया कि कौन सी चीज़ों में उसको experience है, experience in like sales and service cloud, building automation and flows. और फिर उसने बाद में अपनी की अचीवमेंट्स को भी हाईलाइट कर दिया और एंड पे उसने बता दिया कि वो एक्चुअली सीख क्या कह रहा है. सो दिस गिव्स अ कंप्लीट ओवरव्यू टू द रिक्रूटर कि बगैर पढ़े वो रेज्यूमे अगर 3-4 सेकंड इसको पढ़ लेना तो वो अपना माइंड बना लेगा यार मैंने इस कैंडिडेट को हायर करना है, शॉर्टलिस्ट करना है. ठीक है. सो दिस इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. मैंने देखे लोग इसमें हमेशा जेनेरिक स्टेटमेंट्स लिखते हैं, लाइक डिटेल ओरिएंटेड, ड्रिवन, इस तरह की चीज़ें लिखते हैं. दैट डजेंट हेल्प यू स्टैंड आउट. मेक इट वेरी स्पेसिफिक, add numbers, add key achievements, focus on outcomes. Ramiz, Fatma, I've just done AI certification. Then what can be my intro? Ramiz, Fatma, I can't really tell you an intro because this is not enough information, but I am sure you can work out something. Take any like generative AI's help. Can we mention Salesforce profile page link in our resume? Um, I think Essen, if you can answer this question, I'm not sure okay, how
Yeah,
does a Salesforce profile
yeah,
looks like. So
uh, yeah. Am I audible?
yes, you are.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Suman, I believe yeah, you can, but it entirely depends on what is your working experience. If you're a newbie, if your current trajectory of the career is from beginner to like 2 to 3 years of experience, then you can surely put your trailhead profile link over there to mention out how good you are with your training and what you have trained so far. Because a potential candidate who's looking for a junior or associate level position, they will definitely check out your trailhead. That is a verification of your Salesforce journey, that what you've been doing so far, right? So it's good to put over there. But after 3 years of experience, you don't need to put it over there. Your working experience will tell about that. Your job, if you say your job title, let's say for Salesforce administrator at S&P Global, and now you need to mention your job responsibilities. What at the very top you should have what technologies or what software you've been using, like ADO, Jira, Slack, Salesforce platform, and what other tools have you've been using, Stripe, and all that. After that, you need to mention what you've been doing. I've been doing like CI/CD, working in CRM support, all those sort of things. Beginner to 3 years of experience, yes, put in your profile. After that, don't do that. Make your job responsibilities stronger. That's an answer for that one. Someone.
Thank you, Essen. Okay, Ramiz Fatma, my engineering is not related to system and softwares. So Ramiz Fatma, इसको आप एक अपने advantage के लिए use कर सकती हैं कि आप इसको you can build a narrative around your profile, right? कि that would show कि यार आप you are like going extra mile to transition from something like जो आपने पढ़ा था उसे to AI. So you can build a narrative that can stick to an employer. So आप जो summary या professional career objective है ना, आप उसमें ज़रूर add करें कि I started as a like a textile engineer, then I found out my calling was in AI, and then I like transitioned और फिर मैंने इस तरह से certifications वगैरह की हैं. So build a narrative around it and use that narrative to land a job. So वो story जो होती है ना, stories stick. So yes, stories always sell. Asin, do you want to speak something? Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, yeah. I just want to mention it out to Ramiz, Fatma, that there's nothing to worry about in the Salesforce industry, that you don't belong to a CS environment, background, or software engineering background. It doesn't matter at all. We have people in the industry, in my company as well, people who were ACCA, CA, either they've completed or a dropout, or electrical engineers from NED or from anywhere around the world. This Salesforce is not about that you need to have a prior experience, and that you need to have a background of software or computer industry. It's a platform. It's a CRM tool. You just need to get on with it. It's a it's at the starting point. It's a tool which is very declarative. You just drag and drop things. You need to go to Trailhead. You need to figure out. There's a page for it which is called the career path page. You need to just go over there, check it out, and see where do you fit best. You're a declarative person. You don't know how to code, but you can use this software still, and I believe you can still figure out one or two roles easily. You can figure out the admin role, you can figure out the product owner role, you can figure out the business analyst role. So these are 3 4 titles which are very strong in this industry right now. Even in Pakistan, these positions are opening up really fast. Okay, so this is what I would suggest you personally. Thanks, Mahad.
Yeah, absolutely, Yasin. I've seen a lot of people, change their majors all the time. मतलब do not change their major, मतलब जो उन्होंने पढ़ा होता है and then they do not pursue it. Obviously, when you were like out of high school, the decision unfortunately is more of your parents rather than your own. So it makes sense, if you do not want to pursue anything, something that you didn't that you did at your undergrad. Okay, coming on to the next section, we have experience section. So इसमें I want you guys to note one thing. एक टेक्निक होती है स्टार टेक्निक. Do you किसी को आइडिया है कि what is the star technique?
Yeah, again I do, but I'm gonna wait for the audience to type in something or say something. Then I'll go at the end.
Come on, guys, take a guess.
Just a tip, guys. You have access to Google. Just type it in.
So I've been using Meta AI a lot for like quick searches.
Okay.
It's very convenient to just use it in the WhatsApp.
Yeah. I've been using DeepSeek as well. It's really good. It's really smooth. Okay, since nobody is answering, I'll just go ahead. So star topology is a situation, task, action, result. It mainly caters about the Salesforce admin job and the business analyst job and the support job. That is that topology is mainly used for, but it can be used for any other job title as well. So that is the gist of it.
Yeah, so as like SM rightly said, STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. So it's a technique to actually describe your experience or tell something. So how do we use STAR technique? Is very important to tell in our resume experience section, because it gives a whole picture of what our job responsibilities were. So not like job responsibilities were, like what our key achievements were. So to start off with, like just some generic statements, that you have to be very specific. You have to add numbers. Always do not write a sentence that I did this, I did that. Just start with, let a team of 15 people or develop this automation workflow, something like that. And also this experience section should be tailored to the job resume, to the job description that you're applying for, right? We have like a couple of questions. I'm housewife and learning Salesforce. I should add my resume. Isko, Irsa, I think let's discuss this question at the end. Um, okay. So also make sure that you add industry specific terms. और उसके बाद दिस इज एन एग्जांपल कि आप किस तरह अपना लिख सकते हैं. ठीक है. एक चीज प्लीज नोट इट डाउन कि यू हैव टू फोकस ऑन की अचीवमेंट्स एंड आउटकम्स, नॉट जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन या जॉब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज. सो व्हाट आई हैव सीन इज पीपल जस्ट गो बैक टू द जॉब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. कोई सेल्स फोर्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर की जिसने जॉब की होगी ना, वो कोई लिंक्डइन पे जाके सेल्स फोर्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर की जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन देखेगा और उसको कॉपी पेस्ट करके लिख देगा. सही है. दिस इज नॉट व्हाट यू शुड डू. यू शुड एक्चुअली गो एंड रिफ्लेक्ट कि द जॉब क्या चीज़ आपकी की अचीवमेंट्स थी, एंड जो आप काम कर रहे थे उनके की आउटकम्स क्या थे, एंड व्हाट बेनिफिट that work had for the organization, right? So focus on key achievements and key outcomes of your work. So I can share these slides with you, Abu Sufyan. That will be possible. So let's take an example. This is a description for a supply chain role: orchestrated end-to-end logistics operations, significantly reducing transportation costs. So इस चीज में एक एक stat missing है. So I ideally I would have like added a percentage on how much the transportation cost had reduced, and managed inventory levels, decreasing excess stock by 20%. So just add numbers that shows that you actually did something, and not just trying to add fluff or anything of the sort. आप हवा में कोई बात नहीं करे, and you're like very sure on what you did. So yeah, if do you have any questions regarding the experience section? If not, we can move on. So I'll share a list of action verbs that you can use. So बड़ी आसान सी इसकी की है. स्टार्ट, वो स्टार मैंने आपको टेक्निक बताई है. स्टार्ट विद सिचुएशन. What was the situation, what was the problem, and what task you were given. सही है. So आपको क्या काम कहा था, and then what action you took, and what was the impact of it or the result of that action. So if you like address these four things in a bullet, that is going to be the best thing for your resume. उसके बाद the next section we have is education background. Please highlight any degrees that are relevant, any certifications or like online courses you have been doing, or कोई अगर professional development courses हैं, please do mention those as well. If you have अगर अगर तो आपका for like less than 4 or 5 years of experience, then you should add more details about your education कि आपने क्या किया था, such as की grade. अगर आपके GPA जो है is less than 3.5 ideally, तो आप ना उसको mention करें. So you just do not want an unnecessary bias. So yeah, so अगर if you have like इतना ज़्यादा एक्सपीरियंस नहीं, तो इसमें आप की कोर्सेज अपने मेंशन कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. सो उसके अलावा आपने कोई बाकी कोई जो दिस इज वेरी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड, सो यू कैन कैन चेक इट. सो एक और जो इम्पोर्टेंट नेक्स्ट आप सबसे पहले आई जस्ट क्विकली रिवाइज कि हमने क्या क्या डिस्कस किया है ऑफ द फॉर्मेट. सबसे पहले आएगा आपकी कॉन्टैक्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन. सही है. कॉन्टैक्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन के अंदर आपका फुल नेम, फ़ोन नंबर, ईमेल, लिंक्डइन प्रोफाइल. ठीक है. उसके बाद आएगा आपका प्रोफेशनल समरी या करियर ऑब्जेक्टिव, लेक्स एक्सपीरियंस. तो उसके बाद आएगा आपका एक्सपीरियंस सेक्शन, जिसमें आप बताएंगे कि आपने इंटर्नशिप्स की हैं, जॉब्स की हैं, उसमें आपके क्या रोल्स थे, क्या आपने काम किया, क्या अचीवमेंट्स थी, क्या आउटकम्स थे. और फिर उसके बाद आप लिखेंगे अपना स्किल सेक्शन. तो स्किल्स के अंदर आप आई वुड सजेस्ट कि आप इसके दो सेक्शंस बनाएं, वन फॉर टेक्निकल स्किल्स एंड द अदर फॉर सॉफ्ट स्किल्स. सो टेक्निकल स्किल्स में क्या आएगा, आपके जो सेल्सफोर्स से रिलेटेड स्किल्स हैं या टूल्स हैं या जो आपके प्रोग्रामिंग रिलेटेड स्किल्स हैं, वो सारे टेक्निकल में आ जाएंगे. जो आपके सॉफ्ट स्किल्स हैं सच एज क्या यू थिंक यू आर अ ग्रेट लीडर, then you can add leadership. If you think you're good at communication, you can add communication. If you're good at teamwork, you can add teamwork. So sort of those soft skills also are very important. So but people usually don't mention these soft skills, but if you go and look at a job description, there's always some sort of line that says be a teamwork, ability to thrive in a fast-paced environment. So these soft skills are equally important as your technical skills. So you also have to just I'll give you for the context. According to a study done by Harvard, 80% of your jobs, 80% of your success in a job role depends on your soft skills and not your technical skills. So your people skills are actually more important for you to succeed in a job role than your technical skills. How do you be? How do you क्या कहते हैं, navigate office politics? How do you influence people? How do you take initiative? How do you become assertive, and things like that? These are more important than your actual technical skills. So I think we've all seen someone जो सिर्फ बातें करते हैं और वो उसकी जॉब चल रही है. So ये काम नहीं करता, बातें कर रहा है. So ये बड़ा काम, ये भी बड़ी important चीज़ है. So please make sure that you also mention these soft skills as well. So इसमें skills में आपने दो sections बनाने हैं. One technical skills, the other soft skills. Technical skills में all your tools and softwares, all your programming skills, and soft skills जो such as teamwork, communication, वो सारी चीज़ें. ठीक है. एंड आइडियली ये जो आपने स्किल्स चूज करने हैं, एंड मेक श्योर दैट आर रेलिवेंट टू द जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन दैट यू आर अप्लाइंग फॉर, सो इट विल हेल्प यू इन रैंकिंग अबव इन द एप्लीकेंट ट्रैकिंग सिस्टम. उसके बाद we have some other information as well that I usually recommend. Certifications and other qualifications, please put those. अगर आपके कोई projects हैं, especially for अगर programming background या कुछ उस तरह का है, तो उसके अंदर projects are very important. Community service, is very important as well, that you are very active in volunteer work. So companies like S&P are not just looking for someone who can get the work done, they're also looking for someone who fits in their culture. So like corporate social responsibility is very important for companies like S&P Global. So it is also, it is important for all like big orgs. So you have to make sure that you show yourself as a complete, well-rounded person, individual, not just someone who's buried into work. So you should have like some sort of extracurricular experiences as well. So also, if you're like active in like community building, community service, so you're going to be better at communication, you're going to be better at understanding people, and you would have built more empathy. Empathy is very, I think, um, so employees really value empathy in their employees. And also, I some people some people do not recommend, but I recommend putting interest in hobbies at the end, because what I've seen is this gives the interviewer a chance to start a conversation. So yeah, so this becomes another like topic of interest, or like if you get lucky, there's a high chance that the interviewer has the same interest as you, and that gives a like a very good impression. So, do we have any questions regarding this? कि आपने अगर projects इसका mention करने हैं, like how do you tell about community service, like community building experience?
Yeah, Mahad, I have a question.
जी जी.
Yeah, Mahad, acha, one thing I want to understand, you went from the top to bottom, your resume का format है. So you went with experience first, and then you went on with education. Let's say there's a newbie out there, और अभी जिसकी internship भी नहीं हुई. So what will that potential kid candidate do to hunt a job? अब उसका experience नहीं है, तो of course education का जो section है वो ऊपर आ जाएगा, right? And at the bottom he would probably have his FYP, his course project जो उसने किया होगा probably. And let's see, and the worst part about all of that, that kid or that candidate is not part of the software industry at all. So what would that person mention over there? अभी उसको कुछ नहीं पता, and they've started to hunt for the junior associate level job. And let's say it's not just about Salesforce; it's about a generic, industry level issue. So that
Okay.
is something I've noticed as well. I've experienced as well. So what do you have to say about this?
Okay, I think that's a very good question, and I often get this question a lot from a lot of like students and young graduates. So what I usually recommend is if your education section automatically comes on the top, and then if you have nothing to show, like look for like community service experiences, look for student societies experiences, add those in your experience section. If you do not have them as well, what you can do is you can have your projects. So if you do not have projects, you can work on your projects on your own. So आप अपने projects mention कर लें. अगर सबसे पहले if you do not have work experience, education automatically ऊपर आ जाएगा, and that would be the main selling point for now if you have nothing else to show, right? उसके बाद क्या करें कि you add student societies का experience, कोई community service का experience, कोई extra curricular activities का experience. You can also like show कि उसमें से आपने क्या सीखा है, right? That would also help you stand out. If you do not have that experience, you can mention projects. Projects can be anything that you did in your degree, or maybe any hobbies जो for instance आजकल generative AI का बहुत ज़्यादा है, तो a lot of people are exploring कि how they can automate their workflows using tools like Zapier or like N8N. So you can use those projects to highlight that you're putting some effort. And also आपने पूछा कि वो they're not like clear on what they should pursue. So देखिए, the sad reality is कि अगर आप एक जॉब रोल ऐड करते हैं ना, तो आपके पास हजारों कैंडिडेट्स आ जाएंगे. अब आपके पास जॉब एक है, so you have to ultimately select one. So you will try to select the best candidate on paper. So you would have to fake it till you make it. So yeah, so it's okay if you have not figured it out. Just give the impression that you have figured it out. You are very certain that you want to work in a marketing role, but deep down okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to like continue in a marketing role for the next few years or not. So just give the impression that you're very sure that what you want, even if you know that you're not like deep down, you're not clear on if this is your calling or not. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it completely does. And thank you for mentioning it out. And the best part about all of it was fake it till you make it, man. That
Absolutely.
works out all the time. Yeah, that works out all the time.
Okay, so this is, if you can take a screenshot, that would be better. This is like a list of action verbs that you can use. इसके अलावा भी बहुत ज़्यादा होंगे. It's just to help you give you a starting point. I can also share the slides with the community as well. फिर मेरे ख्याल से अभी we are nearing towards the end of our resume वाला section. I will show you a template that I really recommend. Let me just change the tab and then we can check. Okay. Okay. So this is the template I recommend. इसको आपने थोड़ा सा edit कर लेना जिस तरह से मैंने आपको वो चीज़ें बताई थी. The order that I told you guys, इसमें आप सबसे पहले you'll add a career objective slash profession summary और फिर उसके बाद take this education down if you do not have if you have experience. If you don't, just use this format. So yeah, so यहाँ पे आप जाएंगे, open as template. So you would have to make an account on Overleaf. Overleaf is a LaTeX editor. So LaTeX is a sort of a programming language for writing text. So this gives you more customization as compared to Microsoft Word. Yeah, and you can easily arrange and format things. इसका जो trick है वो ये है कि you can give this code to ChatGPT, सही है, and then ChatGPT can write the LaTeX code for you. So LaTeX की pronunciation ऐसी, लेकिन spelling इसकी latex होती है, LATEX, right? तो आप LaTeX का कोड देंगे इस resume का कॉपी करके यहाँ से open as template करके, and then you can give your details and ask ChatGPT to generate your resume based on the LaTeX format that you provided, and then you can open that. You can copy paste that LaTeX code into Overleaf, and that will compile a PDF for you. So it is very easy if you understand Salesforce, if you have some basic technical knowledge, so you can easily do this. अगर आपने एक भी programming का course लिया हुआ है तो you can easily make it. This is by far the best template I've come across. And Word पे बनाने का ये issue होता है कि उसमें आपकी customization और formatting इतने अच्छे तरीके से नहीं हो सकती जितनी इस पे हो सकती है. ठीक है. Please use this template. I can share the link as well in the chat. Okay, so let's like move on to the questions. हमारे पास एक दो questions आ रहे थे from the chat. We can use this time to answer those. और फिर उसके बाद we'll move on towards discussing LinkedIn profile optimization and personal branding. So it's a Rasool का question था. I am housewife and learning Salesforce and want to become Salesforce developer. What should you recommend me to add in my resume? So that's very nice of you to you're starting to learn something, and it can feel a bit overwhelming on how to navigate the process. So इसमें सबसे पहले I would suggest कि like regardless of the resume, you should have a mentor who is actually working in a role that you're like looking to apply for in the future, that can guide you as well. So आप अपने resume में I think वही जो पहले हमने discuss किया, start with a career objective, tell why you're like learning Salesforce, and what has been your key achievements on Trailhead. Trailhead ही होता है ना जो प्लेटफॉर्म है,
Yeah,
Trailblazer, ये जो.
yeah, that's correct.
सो आपकी
Trailhead.
उसमें से कौन सी आपने सर्टिफिकेशंस कर लिए, कौन से बैजेस ले लिए, उससे आप स्टार्ट करें. लाइक जो प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं आपके, आप उनको मेंशन करें, सही है, और अपने स्किल्स को मेंशन करें, टूल्स को मेंशन करें, और फिर आगे जो आपके इंटरेस्ट एंड हॉबीज हैं उसको मेंशन करें. सो इसमें बेसिकली आपने ना दिखाना है कि यू हैव अ लर्निंग माइंडसेट, सही है, और साथ साथ आपने अपना पोर्टफोलियो बनाना है. So it's a bit hard, like, and you can definitely do this. As in, if you can add anything very specific to Salesforce, that would be
Yeah,
great.
yeah, sure. Thank you, Mahad. And first of all, it's a it's very good to hear that people like you are coming into the industry. We're happy to have you on board, and we have an extensive board, people, mentors who can take you up and start to train you, guide you at least once or twice a week. For your sales or developer role, I would just because I am a business analyst slash administrator slash consultant in the industry right now, working at S&P Global, I would highly recommend that you start on with Trailhead, pick up projects, pick up trails. The first one I would recommend you personally would be the sales beginner developer, intermediate developer, advanced developer. We can connect on WhatsApp as well, and continue this conversation. So I'm going to make this very precise right now. Just start off with these three trails. These are the very basics one. Once you've done that, then we can move on to super badges, which is on Trailhead as well, and everything is free. You just need to sign up and just follow each step by step information, right? So I think that would be enough for you to kick off right now. I don't know if you've done it already. If you've done it already, then that's another story. Then we can start to talk about a mentor, somebody who's already, as Mahad mentioned, is working in the field, and we can assign you to that person, and they take up the responsibility to connect with you at least once, twice a week. Make your resume in a format that it is appealing to the hiring manager or to the HR as well, right? Because because if your resume is not in the right format, but you have the skill and the potential, you're not going to make the cut. I'm sorry. So yeah, that is something we can definitely talk about. Again, my number is in the WhatsApp group. My name is Essen. So yeah, let's connect after that if you have any further queries. And I hope that answers your question. And thank you, Mahad.
Thank you, Aishan. We have another question in the chat. I have 2 years of experience as a Salesforce developer. I have wanted to move to Dubai. Any guidance related to a CV that helps me with the job in Dubai? So, सबसे पहले अबू सुफियान, I do not have like Salesforce relevant like Salesforce के दुबई में रोल्स क्या हैं, लेकिन what I can tell you is कि try to form your network in Dubai. So usually Middle East का क्या है कि you have to go there, and chances of you getting a job are much higher when you're actually there. But if you want to like land a job from Pakistan and from any other country, you should have like some connections already working in the Middle East that can give a referral to you. So there's no like जो resume या CV के templates हैं या वो standards हैं, these are like mostly same all over the world, right? So there's nothing like कि Dubai specific क्या है वो क्या है. So what matters more is आप who do you know and how they can help you. So build your network, start connecting with people on LinkedIn and stuff like that, and that will help you land a job in Dubai, and you can just have a like completely optimized resume or CV that we discussed. What Ali Zaib says, what should I do if my past experience doesn't align directly with the role of my I'm for example 4 years. 4 years experience in operations with a fintech industry. आई थिंक अली से एसन ने जिस तरह आप पहले इर्शा के क्वेश्चन का रिप्लाई किया, आई थिंक दैट अप्लाइज टू यू एज वेल. So you can obviously build on some strengths from your previous roles and align those with your future roles. Usually अगर आपका कम एक्सपीरियंस है ना, so if you have like 6-7 years of experience या उससे कम, तो then you should use a resume. CVs I've seen पाकिस्तान में सिर्फ सी लेवल्स या सीनियर या डायरेक्टर लेवल के जो लोग हैं वो यूज़ कर रहे होते हैं, बाकी सारे रोल्स पे रेज्यूमे ही यूज़ हो रही होती है. Siddharaj, I have almost 1.5 year. Companies call me after. Sidra, if your CV is getting shortlisted and but they're not like आपको interview stage पे नहीं बुला रहे, interview stage से आगे नहीं जा रहे, तो I am guessing there's something that you need to work on your verbal communication, या फिर आपकी कोई culture fit का होगा issue, या थोड़ा सा उस तरफ होगा जो जो चीज़ resume पे नहीं reflect हो रही उसमें issue होगा, तो please work on that. It's I want hands-on experience like internships, starting role anyone can guide. I think SN has already answered that. Like, I'll ask SN as well if you want to add anything. I have done my
Yeah.
field related job from 2012 till 2019. So, let me answer this Rami's question and then I'll give it to you, SN.
Yeah.
So Ramesh, that's like a tricky situation. So so आपकी जॉब जो थी बिल्कुल भी रेलिवेंट nahi hai to the job role you're applying for. If it's like somewhat relevant, you can obviously add that experience. Maybe it depends on how you position it. You know, you can add कि आपने ये चीजें सीखी थी और उसमें क्या किया था. So there's like no right answer. It depends on you. If you can build a narrative, as I said earlier, आप उसके इर्द गिर्द एक अच्छी स्टोरी बना सकती हैं that will stick, then yes, add it. If you think कि इसका कोई भी relevance नहीं है to the job role you're applying for and would look bad in front of an employer or a recruiter, then do not. जी ऐसा वो ऐसा का कोई क्वेश्चन आप प्लीज आंसर कर दीजिएगा.
Yeah, right. It's I just noticed that you mentioned that you have 59 badges. That's really good. If you have those badges aligning with your sales or developer role, that's really good. Make that prominent on your resume. And by prominent, I mean that आप इसको experience उसके section में डालें, आप इसको achievements के section में डाल दें. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mahad, because this is an achievement, right? आपने trailer पे कुछ करा है. These are your training. These are your badges. So that can pronounce on the achievement section really loud. And that is something we look in a junior level candidate as well. Let's say there's a very fresh candidate, जिसने भी FIP complete किया है, they're working on projects, या किसी ने थोड़ी बहुत freelancing gigs कर लिए हैं. So we look at the achievement level section as well. That what have they done in the industry so far. हम Salesforce के लिए hire कर रहे हैं. We're not hiring for any other industry. So I need to be prominent कि Salesforce based बंदे की या candidate की क्या training रही है, right? So that can play out real good for you. And if I'm not mixing people over here, it's अगर आपका prior experience, I think आपने mention करा है आपका कोई और job role भी था. Sorry, let me just, I had experience in internship starting. Okay, and for your other question, Irsa, where you were okay, so you're looking for internships and beginner level roles. So I think right now in the Salesforce industry, it's a little tricky to get those roles. अभी वो market में थोड़ा slowly open up हो रहे हैं. अब इसका ना pace slowly तेज होगा, because मैं ये share करता चलूँ. I don't know how many people in the room right now knows about this कि अब UBL bank ने भी Salesforce pick कर लिया. So if the banking industry is coming into Salesforce, that means there's a huge job market that's going to populate in the next couple of years. अभी UBL उसका ना structure build कर रहा है. So after that, there's going to be HBL, there's going to be Al Habib. All the banking system are going to come into it. It's a CRM tool, guys. It's a very powerful tool. और जब इतने बड़े banking sectors आपकी country के जब involve होंगे, तो of course job market ना increase होगी from beginner level to senior level as well. So you'll have to be a little patient. अगर हम अभी की बात करें, अभी I don't know if you which city are you from. Karachi में I do see associate level jobs popping up, but again उसकी जो targeting audience होती है ना, वो बहुत specific होती है. Those companies target के NUST के बच्चे मिल जाए, हमें FAST के बच्चे मिल जाए, NED के मिल जाए. I've seen people reaching out to specifically FAST and NUST के candidates, the fresh grads or the people who are in their last semesters. ये थोड़ा सा tricky point हो सकता है, but still you can make it there. You again, as Mahad mentioned, you need to stand out. आप अपनी ना resume को ऐसा build out करें कि आप उस FAST और NUST के कैंडिडेट से बेहतर लगे आपकी रेज्यूमे. नॉट इन द सेंस ऑफ ओवरऑल आपका बैकग्राउंड एजुकेशन, बट इन द सेंस कि आप इस जॉब रोल में कितनी एफर्ट पुट इन कर सकते हैं. यूर अ बिगिनर, आपने बिगिनर के लिए ना आपने कुछ 200 बैजेस किए हैं. जैसे फॉर माय फर्स्ट जॉब, आई थिंक आई वाज रियली स्ट्रगलिंग विद माय फर्स्ट जॉब. आई थिंक आई डिड quite a number of badges to get to land on my first job, and that was one of my targeting no, one of my, what's the word I'm looking for, one of the things that was loud on my resume that I got picked out from. And later on in my career, I got to know from the hiring manager that, okay, this your trailhead was numbers was like out of the mark, that हम किसी beginner level से expect नहीं करते किसी ने इतनी trails की हुई होंगी, इतने modules किए हुए होंगे. ठीक है, so you need to play on those things जो और किसी fresh candidate से कोई expect नहीं कर रहा होगा. Just simple as that. Do super badges, do as much trails as you can, and modules. ठीक है, and make that prominent in your resume. And I'm pretty sure कि a day or two, मतलब थोड़ा सा आपको time लगेगा, maybe a couple of months to land your first job, but just don't give up. When you quit, that's your failure. अभी आपका failure ये नहीं कि आपको बार बार apply कर रहे हैं, आपको कोई पूछ नहीं रहा. That is not failure. Failure will be only then when you quit कि यार मैंने हार मान ली, कोई मुझे reach out नहीं कर रहा. It took me 8 months to land my first job in the Salesforce industry. Prior to having an internship, I did an internship in कराची, पाकिस्तान, जब Salesforce का कोई नामो निशान भी नहीं था. By नामो निशान, I mean कि there was not an audience for Salesforce. It was only Systems, Contour, S&P Global, 4, 5 big players playing in the industry. So I did it back then, but I was like insanely into it. I was hungry enough to, fetch that internship and convert it into a full-time job later on after 8 months of gap. So if I can do it, I'm sure every one of you in the room who's hunting for that role can do it as well. Thank you, Mahad.
Yeah, I think
I,
very 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 inspiring, Ashwin. मैंने आपकी वो आखिरी वाला लाइन पिक करूंगा, यू ओनली फेल व्हेन यू स्टॉप ट्राइंग. Absolutely. Your first job is more about perseverance and grit than your skill. So अभी ईर्षा ने क्वेश्चन किया है कि आई एम मास्टर इन सीएस बट विद गैप हाउ टू अप्लाई फॉर इंटर्नशिप. ईर्षा, आई थिंक जो इंसान है ना वो अपने दिमाग में अपनी एबिलिटीज़ को ज़्यादा लिमिट करता है, वो हम खुद ही हेजिटेंट होते हैं. वी suffer more in imagination than in reality. I would suggest कि just apply for those internships. It is not going to matter a lot. Even if it does, you can tell कि यार personal reasons, obviously. You know, life happens. So do not worry कि आपका gap है या कुछ है. Just try and like try again. So yeah. So it is about perseverance and grit. So you just need to keep trying. And it takes like maybe a year. Some people get lucky, they get a job in like few months, some get in 7 8 months, and some take longer, but it eventually you will get a job if you keep trying. You only lose if you stop. Do we have any other questions, or we can move to the LinkedIn part? ऐसा फिर आप इस तरह करें ना कि आप कनेक्शंस बनाएं, नेटवर्क बनाएं अपना. सो इफ यू नॉट गेटिंग शॉर्ट लिस्टेड और उस तरह से, बी वेरी स्ट्रेटेजिक. सही है. सो लेट्स से अब ये सारों के लिए मैं बात कर रहा हूँ कि व्हाट हैज़ वर्क फॉर मी एज वेल एंड आई हैव सीन कि इट डज वर्क. Shortlist like 3 4 companies where you want to work at, okay, and then look at their roles that you can apply for, एंड देन उस रोल्स में जो सीनियर है ना उनके साथ नेटवर्क करें. सही है. ट्राई टू कनेक्ट विद देम, ट्राई टू बिल्ड रेपो. सो मुझे याद है आई वांटेड टू वर्क एट अ कंपनी. आई गेव एन इंटरव्यू. दे लाइक मी, लेकिन आई वाज स्टिल इन यूनिवर्सिटी बैक देन, तो दे सेड कि यू कांट कंटिन्यू फुल टाइम, so we're not going to hire you. So I was like, I still want to work at the company. So मैंने क्या किया कि I found a connection that was someone from my school, and then I built rapport with him for over a year. Ultimately, he recommended me for a job there. So I got to work after a year, but उस job के लिए I had to invest in that relationship for over a year. So be strategic about it. Identify 3 4 companies that you want to work at. Identify those roles. Find seniors in those roles and reach out to them. उनके साथ एक आप connection बनाएं. एंड उनके साथ जब आपने उनको बता दिया ना कि आप you're someone they can recommend, then you will get the referral from them. And internal referrals go a long way. Abu Sufyan, it does. But even if you have a Dubai number and if they say that, come for an interview next week, how would you, get to do that? Essen?
Yeah, sorry. I was just gonna answer Abu Sufyan's this question as well. Abu Sufyan, I would just highly recommend don't do that. Pakistan right now is on the red flag. Is on the red flag from many countries, and let's not get shredded by Dubai as well. I would highly recommend, as I would say as a senior in the industry, I would recommend to not just hang on Dubai. There are more. Countries in the east. There's Qatar, there's Abu Dhabi as well. There are many more countries and cities to explore. I would not recommend you do this sort of step. This portrays a very bad image of Pakistan because this ये चीज ना हो चुकी है, and I know more than 5 people जिन्होंने ये हरकत की है, and from that company we got banned for 6 months कि अब पाकिस्तान से ना 6 महीने तो कोई भी अप्लाई करे, reject them automatically. दिस हैज हैपेंड. ठीक है. और अभी रिसेंटली जब सेल्सफोर्स अभी दुबई में जब लॉन्च हुआ, आई डोंट नो हाउ मेनी पीपल नो अबाउट दिस, लेकिन अभी कुछ ना लोगों ने क्या किया कि यहाँ से अप्लाई किया, फ़ोन नंबर बिल्कुल जिस तरह अभी अभी मेंशन कर रहे हैं वो दुबई में किसी फ्रेंड को लीक कर दे दिया. अब जब उन्होंने बुलाया उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, लाइक there was just 2 candidates जिनको ना they went on to the final interview and they said okay come to the office visit us, and I was like we're in Pakistan and why do you have a Dubai number and all of that. तो वो that got very sketchy. We were at the verge के वो फिर हमें भी कुछ 6 से 8 महीने के लिए बैन कर दे. But thank you for the seniors in the industry, Hamza Siddiqui and Maham. These people control the situation and they connected with them. Okay, this is a very messed up situation. Let's leave it over there and just leave the candidate right there. So let's not do that, right? आप ये कर सकते हैं. I would say आपका working experience it's okay. find a visa that fits your, let's say, I believe Dubai is providing job seeker visa or something, freelance visa or something. आप वो लें, then go to Dubai, Qatar, whatever country you're targeting, आप तब वहाँ जाएं, and then apply for the job. Have the appropriate number, follow the appropriate steps in simple plain words. Don't, don't, मैं क्या कहूँ यार इसको, don't abuse our country. ये मतलब ना, ये काम खराब करने वाली बात है. उल्टा आपके हम इंडस्ट्री को ग्रो करें, that would just put us on a very bad image. We don't want that for anyone, not for you, not for us, not for anybody else. So I would just recommend you to use the right channels, use the right path. अच्छा, मैं आपको बिल्कुल डिस्करेज नहीं कर रहा, आप ऐसा ना करें. There are people who have done this, और जिन्होंने हैक करके आगे निकल गए वो, बट वो किसी का लक होता है, किसी का कुछ होता है, किसी को बहुत राइट रिसोर्स होती है. अगेन महाद ने एक पॉइंट बहुत अच्छा मेंशन किया था, हैव द अप्रोप्रिएट कनेक्ट्स. आई हैव द कनेक्ट्स, आई हैव पीपल फ्रॉम डिफरेंट कंट्रीज, और मैंने डिफरेंट कंट्रीज के कंपनीज के लिए जॉब के लिए अप्लाई किया है, बट एट सम पॉइंट आई गॉट रिजेक्टेड. सो दैट इज परफेक्टली फाइन. उन रिजेक्शन से आप सीखें कि यार मैंने क्या गलती की, क्या शायद मेजर रीजन बिल्कुल आखिर में ये होगा कि आप कंट्री में नहीं थे. बट अगर किसी कंपनी को आप बहुत समझ आ जाते हैं, तो आप 2 साल का क्या, मैंने ऐसे भी लोग देखें 1 साल के एक्सपीरियंस पे लोग जर्मनी पहुंच गए. सो दैट इज डूएबल, बट अगेन स्टैंड आउट ऑन दैट जॉब रोल. उस जॉब रोल पे देखें, अगर आपको कोई सीनियर आपको compete कर रहा है, उसके एक्सपीरियंस के अलावा आप कहाँ हैं जहाँ आप उसको बीट कर सकते हैं. सो मेक योर रेज्यूमे दैट मच स्ट्रॉन्ग, हैव योर नेटवर्क्स उतना स्ट्रॉन्ग कि यार ठीक है, people recommend you for that role. So that is, I believe, some of the major points I had in my mind, and I thought it would be best to share with the audience. So yeah, that's it. Thanks, Mahad.
Thank you, Ashwin. Amreen, I will answer I will answer your question, and by showing you how I actually reached out to my seniors. Same app, I show you my LinkedIn messages. So now I think we can move on to the next section, LinkedIn wala. So isme I had some slides, like, and I'm not going to present those. I'm going to show my LinkedIn profile and discuss each section one by one. And then if you have any questions, that you can let me know. Okay. अच्छा, सबसे पहली चीज़ that I want you guys to edit. अच्छा, before like we go into like LinkedIn, does everyone has a LinkedIn profile? Okay. I think everyone should have a LinkedIn profile. It is very important, right? And the first thing that I want you guys to do it is there's this section public profile and URL, right? Make your profile public, and by default, LinkedIn URL has a lot of different digits that you do not want to have in your profile link. So remove those and do it to something like, your first name, last name, something of the sort. Okay, then the other section that is most important is your profile picture. If you're female and not comfortable putting up a picture, that's fine, but if you're male, you should put up a picture that is professional and has like a solid lighting with a blurred or like a solid background. किसी शादी की फोटो नहीं लगाया करें, सही है, नाइट की ना लगाएं तो बेहतर है. और 80% of the photo should be covered with your face. Okay, and please do not please have like a decent smile on your face as well. Do not give the impression that you're an angry person or you're a rude person. That, first impressions matter a lot. The other section that, your I goes at as your banner. I've added my organization's banner. If you do not have an organization, you can make a banner of your own that tells, Mahad Imran, Salesforce administrator, or email. You can add your email or like contact details as well. Okay, then the second most important section is this headline. If you are like someone looking for a role, no, so you should, so let's start with, if you're like right out, if you're in university, then you can add aspiring software engineer, yeah, and add the university of your add the name of your university as well. Well, for instance, I can write, if I'm doing computer sciences at NAST, so I can write CS at NAST, and I'm just writing in the chat, aspiring ML engineer. So I can add something of the sort, right? If it's like, if you are like working in a company and a role, that I would suggest add Salesforce developer at S&P Global. You can add a line and add like a few keywords as well कि आप करते क्या हैं. So what I've seen is कि लोग इसको ना search engine optimization के लिए they add anything that comes to their mind, and honestly that looks awful, that looks terrible, you know. Keep it short and sweet. Just tell कि आपका रोल क्या है, आप किस कंपनी में काम करते हैं, and if you want to add like 3-4 words about to describe your role as well. Do not add a lot of different words. It doesn't really make a good impression. Okay, so सबसे पहले बात, this section is mostly neglected by most people. This is your summary or about section. You can add a sort of a story as well. If you have like a good story to tell, you can add that. If you do not have a good story to tell, if you have experience, you can show that. जो key achievements हैं उसको आप show करते हैं. अपने थोड़ा सा एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्सपीरियंसेस या कोई वॉलंटियरिंग या कोई पर्सनल इंटरेस्ट के बारे में ज़रूर बता दें. दैट रियली गिव्स अ गुड इम्प्रेशन. अपने टॉप 5 स्किल्स प्लीज़ हाईलाइट कर दीजिएगा सेल्स फोर्स रिलेटेड. तो कीप इन माइंड कि ये भी ना आपकी जो रेज्यूमे की तरह है, दिस वुड ऑल्सो बी टेलर्ड टू समथिंग दैट यू आर अप्लाइंग फॉर. लाइक सेल्स फोर्स है, मशीन लर्निंग है, कुछ भी है, एआई है, उससे रिलेटेड आपने इसको टेलर करना है. ठीक है, मैंने अपनी खैर ईमेल लिखी हुई है इसके अंदर. A lot of people get this email from here and reach out to me over email as well. I फिर मैंने इसमें फीचर्ड का सेक्शन है, उसमें मैंने क्या किया है कि आई हैव हाईलाइटेड माय की अचीवमेंट्स. यप. सो ओके, मैं आपको अपनी रैशनल बताता हूँ. सो मेरा जो प्रोफाइल है ना, इट्स अ पर्सनल. सो आई एम ट्राइंग टू बिल्ड अ पर्सनल ब्रांड as someone who is an expert in this job hunting ecosystem. So yeah, because that helps me with my startup career launchpad. So I want to come off as an expert in this job hunting or something. So I have added these public appearances in like top universities, Nast Fast, TMUC, ताकि आई कम ऑफ एज समवन जिसकी क्रेडिबिलिटी है, सही है, जिसकी एक डोमेन अथॉरिटी है. तो इस वजह से मैंने इसको लिखा हुआ है, यहाँ पे दिखाया हुआ है. सो इफ यू नो, इफ समवन कम्स ऑन माय प्रोफाइल एंड सीज कि आई एम स्पीकिंग इन नास, दे गोना थिंक ओके दिस गाय हैज सम क्रेडिबिलिटी. So it depends on कि आप अपनी प्रोफाइल किस लिए बना रहे हैं, and like what do you want your personal brand to look like. So if you're like trying to build it for a Salesforce role, this should be relevant to the Salesforce की कोई आपने कोई certification एक होती है Salesforce की, वो अगर आपने किया, it took you some time, you might want to add that here. You might want to like add something that you're incredibly proud of uh, here ताकि it helps you. ओके, कमिंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट सेक्शन, पोस्ट वगैरह. पोस्ट बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होती है. पीपल डू नॉट पोस्ट. अच्छा, इसकी मैं आपको तरीका बताता हूँ थोड़ी देर बाद कि आपने किस तरह पोस्ट करनी है. अच्छा, उसके बाद जो एक्सपीरियंस सेक्शन है, दैट इज़ मोस्टली जो आपने अपनी रेज्यूमे में लिखा होता है, वो वाली सारी चीज़ें हैं. यू स्टार टेक्निक, यूज़ स्टैट्स, फैक्ट्स एंड फिगर्स. उसके बाद इसके अंदर आप पिक्चर्स डाल सकते हैं. मैं किसी की प्रोफाइल देखता हूँ ना, तो आई लव वॉचिंग दीज पिक्चर्स. एवरीवन loves looking at pictures, so please do add those pictures. So yeah, उसके बाद एजुकेशन. मैंने एजुकेशन का ईयर बाय डिज़ाइन नहीं डाला हुआ, बिकॉज आई डू नॉट वांट पीपल टू गेस माय एज, बिकॉज आई एम वेरी यंग. तो इस वजह से दिस समटाइम्स backfires me, because a lot of people think यार आप you're only good as the years of experience you have. So I've not added my years of undergrad. If it's up to you if you want to add or not, but I would suggest adding if you're looking for a job. So it helps give the clarity to the employer. अगर आप अपना स्टार्टअप करें, then it doesn't really matter. Then उसके बाद you should add these licenses and certifications. ये बड़ी आसानी से आपको मिल जाती हैं लिंक्डइन लर्निंग से. लिंक्डइन का प्रीमियम होता है, फर्स्ट मंथ फ्री होता है, यू कैन यूज़ दैट, एंड दीज आर लाइक आवर लॉन्ग, 2 hour longs. तो gives a really good impression. So yeah, please do add those certifications. आपकी Salesforce की certifications भी इधर आ जाएंगी, तो you can also show those as well. फिर उसके बाद volunteering वाला section is also important. मैंने अपने सारे जो भी volunteer काम करता हूँ उसके बारे में डाला हुआ है, sort of community building के बारे में भी डाला हुआ है. और फिर नीचे skills है. LinkedIn पे skills में ना 50 की लिमिट होती है. I suggest add 50. So this is going to help you for search engine optimization. एंड लिंक्डइन का एक इंटरनल रिक्रूटर का टूल होता है दैट हमें नहीं नजर आता, उसका completely डिफरेंट डैशबोर्ड होता है. सो आई कैन गो ऑन दैट टू एंड लुक फॉर अ रोल के सेल्सफोर्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर की मुझे प्रोफाइल चाहिए. सो जिसमें कीवर्ड सबसे ज़्यादा सेल्सफोर्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर होगा और जिसकी कंप्लीट प्रोफाइल होगी, सारे सेक्शंस कंप्लीट होंगे तो आपकी प्रोफाइल ऑटोमेटिकली ऊपर आती है. सो लिंक्डइन का एल्गोरिदम बूस्ट करता है आपकी प्रोफाइल को. सो यू शुड यूज दैट अपॉर्चुनिटी ताकि आपको कोई भी सेक्शन मिसिंग ना हो. सो गेट पीपल टू एंडोर्स यू फॉर दो स्किल्स एंड उसके बाद रिकमेंडेशंस गो अ लॉन्ग वे एज वेल. आई हैव सीन कि जब मुझे रिकमेंडेशन आती है ना तो फौरन मेरी प्रोफाइल व्यूज बढ़ जाते हैं. सो गेट समवन टू रिकमेंड यू. आइडियली अपने किसी पीयर को ना कहा करें. आई हैव सीन कि होता क्या है कि मैं अपने क्लासमेट को बोलूँगा कि तू मुझे कर और वो मैं उसे करूँगा. तो इस तरह मैं जब रिसीव में जाऊँगा फिर गिवन में जाऊँगा तो वो दोनों चीज़ें सेम लगती हैं. सो दैट डजंट रियली गिव अ गुड इंप्रेशन. आस्क योर सीनियर्स, आस्क योर प्रोफेसर्स, आस्क योर लाइक मैनेजर्स टू रिकमेंड यू. recommendations go a long way. और फिर उसके बाद अपनी लैंग्वेजेस डालते हैं. when this is like pretty straightforward. uh, अभी क्वेश्चंस ऑन लाइक प्रोफाइल ऑप्टिमाइजेशन पे कोई कोई आपको कंफ्यूजन हो कि क्या चीज़ कहाँ पे डालनी है, कुछ इस तरह से आई कैन शेयर के आपने किस तरह करना है. बाकी आई शो यू सम एग्जांपल्स of how I was able to get jobs, how I was able to make connections, and then we can conclude this call. Okay. Any questions? No. Okay. अच्छा, इसमें एक चीज़ पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग की फ़ोन से बात कर लेते हैं. सबसे पहले आपने डिसाइड करना है कि आपकी नीश क्या है जिसमें आप अपना एक पर्सनल ब्रांड बनाना चाहते हैं. ठीक है. सो लेट्स एज्यूम सुमैया का एक क्वेश्चन है. आई सजेस्ट नॉट टू यूज इट बिकॉज उससे होता क्या है कि इफ आई एम कनेक्टिंग with someone, this might give an impression कि यार I am going to ask them for a job and they might not be inclined to accept my invitation. So this like it's up to you, but this is what I believe. And you know, if you think that is going to help you, then you can use it, but I would suggest not to use it. Okay. पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग पे थोड़ी सी बात कर लेते हैं. सो दिस इज 2025. दिस इज द ईयर इज लाइक अब जो भी फ्यूचर आ रहा है इट इज़ ऑल अबाउट पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग. यू हैव राइट. वो स्टैंडर्ड वाला दौर ख़त्म हो गया है. एवरीवन इज चेजिंग कि उनका कोई पर्सनल ब्रांड बन जाए एंड दिस इज गोइंग टू बी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. आपके पास जितनी एक्सेसिबिलिटी आ गई, इट इज़ very easy to make your own personal brand than ever. There are tools like TikTok, Instagram Shorts, short form content से आप easily viral हो सकते हैं. और जब आपको वायरल हो गए और आपके पास इन्फ्लुएंस, आपकी एक ऑडियंस जनरेट होगी तो आप उस ऑडियंस को किसी भी तरीके से यूज़ कर सकते हैं. सही है. सो हैविंग अ पर्सनल ब्रांड इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. राइट. सो हाउ डू यू बिल्ड अ पर्सनल ब्रांड? So सबसे पहले you start with identifying your niche. For me, that niche is like job hunting. So I talk about job hunting कि आपने resume किस तरह बनानी है, इंटरव्यू किस तरह देना है, so ये सारी चीज़ें. So for you it might be Salesforce का role या Salesforce के अंदर कुछ और भी हो सकता है. सही है. Specific niche भी हो सकता है. So once you have done that, you need to look for influencers in that niche, right? जैसे मेरी नीच में 2-4 इन्फ्लुएंसर्स हैं जिनको मैं फॉलो करता हूँ और मैं देखता हूँ कि उनका क्या कंटेंट है. सही है. एंड आई ट्राई टू लर्न फ्रॉम देयर कंटेंट एंड सी कि कौन सा कंटेंट वायरल हो रहा है, किस तरह के ट्रेंड्स हैं और किस चीज़ से बात चल रही है. राइट. सो लर्न फ्रॉम दोज इन्फ्लुएंसर्स एंड ऑल्सो इंगेज विद देयर कंटेंट. राइट. इंगेज कमेंट्स लोग नहीं करते. आई हैव सीन कमेंट्स गो अ लॉन्ग वे एज वेल. इट आपके जो नेटवर्क है ना, इफ यू कमेंट एट अ पोस्ट, वो आपके नेटवर्क में दोबारा शो होता है. सो इफ यू इवन इफ यू आर नॉट पोस्टिंग, यू आर कमेंटिंग ऑन डिफरेंट पोस्ट, you will like pop up in different people's newsfeed. And then once you have like identified your niche and identified like your influences, try to learn from their style and write content of your own. सही है. शुरू में आपका राइटिंग स्टाइल हो सकता है आप जो इन्फ्लुएंसर्स को फॉलो कर रहे हो उनसे इम्पैक्टेड हो, या उनको आप टू सम एक्सटेंट कॉपी या इंस्पायर हो उनसे, सही है। लेकिन अल्टीमेटली विद टाइम ना आपका एक अपना स्टाइल बनेगा। यू विल गेट टू नो कि व्हाट कंटेंट वर्क्स एंड व्हाट कंटेंट डज नॉट वर्क, राइट। सो लेकिन द की इज, जो भी पोस्ट कर रहे हैं ना, मेक श्योर यू री रीड इट एंड सी कि उसमें रीडर के लिए क्या वैल्यू है, सही है। सो इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट द पोस्ट शुड हैव सम वैल्यू फॉर द रीडर। अब लेकिन इसमें आप ये कहेंगे कि यार इफ आई एम लाइक टॉकिंग अबाउट माई अचीवमेंट्स, तो उसमें क्या लीडर के लिए वैल्यू है, रीडर के लिए वैल्यू है। सो उसमें आप क्या कह सकते हैं, यू कैन ऐड सम की लर्निंग्स, की टेक अवेज, so that can really help you a lot. And sometimes I feel like when I was also starting out, I was very hesitant to write about कि यार I met this guy today, I met this person today. But honestly, people, if I look at my posts, if I write something about कि how to make your resume, people engage with that. But the most reactions and the engagement I get is on the photos I'll add with like my teammates or like with my mentors. So that really helps you. उससे होता क्या है कि if I'm posting a picture with SN right on LinkedIn, what will happen is कि I'm leveraging SN's network as well. So SN will like comment that picture, and then I will gain visibility in SN's network. So it is all about getting visibility. So try to get visibility as much as possible. Then ultimately people will start recognizing you, right? So if so, for instance, if you're writing about Salesforce from a year, and then if I come on your profile and see, yeah, you have been writing on Salesforce for a year, I would be like, this guy knows Salesforce, and I can reach out to them for like a role or like for some help if I need regarding Salesforce. So this is how like personal branding works. So you have to position as an expert in your niche to build a personal brand. If you're not, I would suggest fake it till you make it. वही वाली बात है दोबारा से। सो अगर आपने सेल्स फोर्स की जॉब ढूंढनी है, व्हाट यू नीड टू डू इज, मैं आपको आसान अल्फाज बता देता हूँ। आपने देखना है कि सेल्स फोर्स कम्युनिटी में सबसे अच्छे इन्फ्लुएंसर्स कौन से हैं, उनके कंटेंट से आपने ट्रेंड देखना है, उनके कंटेंट के साथ आपने कमेंट्स वगैरह डालने हैं जिनसे बाकी लोगों के लिए कोई वैल्यू प्रोवाइड हो, और फिर अपना आपने आहिस्ता आहिस्ता कंटेंट लिखना स्टार्ट करना है, और साथ साथ आप सेल्स फोर्स कम्युनिटी के लोगों के साथ कनेक्ट करते रहें, ठीक है। और ये ओवरनाइट आपका ब्रांड या पर्सनल ब्रांड नहीं बिल्ड होगा, इट विल टेक मंथ्स, it will take some time, or a lot of people do know, will get to know you even if they don't tell you, और आपको नहीं पता लग रहा होगा, लेकिन आपका ना ब्रांड बन रहा होता है, and you're getting opportunities when you're sleeping. So a lot of times people come to me and they said that this guy recommended you, or like we saw you on LinkedIn. So that really helps. So you should have your personal brand. जो आपके अंदर हेजिटेशन है ना अपने बारे में पोस्ट करने की, कि यार अगर मैं पोस्ट करूंगा लाइक्स नहीं आएंगे, कोई मुझे सीरियस नहीं लेगा। आई रिमेंबर यार, मेरी पहली पोस्ट पे 5-6 लाइक्स आए थे जो मेरे सारे बहन भाई और दोस्त थे, ठीक है। So everyone starts from zero, right? So just remove that hesitation, just put yourself out there and start posting content. Any questions?
Hmm. I think we're good. I think we can just move on to. Are you done, Mahad? By the way.
So I just want to show a couple of examples जो मैं
Okay.
अपने DMs में, उसके बाद I'll be done.
Yeah, absolutely. Move on. Because
Okay.
let's move to the questions at the very end. We'll move to the actual Q&A section, and we'll take
Okay.
it from there.
Okay. Okay. So just let me like open up those questions. अच्छा, so एक और जो चीज़ है ना, when you're trying to reach out to someone, try to make sure कि that you really want that conversation, right? So this Aman was a venture capitalist back in the day. So he was in Islamabad, but I had missed him. Lekin he was also an investor in the company that I used to work at. So I reached out कि I am someone who is like very passionate about entrepreneurship and startup ecosystem. I would like really appreciate like 10 to 15 minutes on a call, right? So फिर I saw कि उन्होंने मेरा मैसेज देख लिया लेकिन he didn't reply. Then I sent him a follow up. He saw my message again and then didn't reply. Then I followed up again and then he finally replied. Then I got to talk to him, right? So what I'm trying to tell you guys is it is very important to follow up and make sure that you guys really want it, and also do not be very desperate. This अगर मैं इससे अगला follow up करता था, that might would have come as desperate, right? So make sure you do not come off as very desperate, but you also communicate, yeah, this is very important to me, and you will really value it if they give you like 15 to 30 minutes of your time. Now let me show you how I got one of my jobs when I wasn't looking for one. Okay. So my mentor told me about Hamza. Hamza was a startup founder. So I told him, okay, I came to know about your startup uh, when I mentioned to Parvez that I wanted to work for like student entrepreneurship. I would like to set up a call to learn more about your startup and share my experience with you of mentoring students. सो मैंने आई ऑफर्ड हिम सम वैल्यू. सही है. सो मेक श्योर अगर आप किसी को रीच आउट कर रहे हैं ना, तो आप कोई वैल्यू भी ऑफर कर रहे हो. ठीक है. तो उन्होंने फ़ौरन मुझे क्या किया, उन्होंने रिप्लाई दिया मुझे, फिर हमारी बात हुई. सो द फर्स्ट कॉल विच वॉज सपोज टू बी लाइक 15 to 20 minutes went on to like 90 minutes and ended up with him saying, KR, why don't you come work for me? So I had no intentions of working for a job. I was not looking for any sort of like work experience. I just was genuinely curious about their work. So be genuinely curious about like someone and about their work, and फिर उसके बाद try to offer them value. At the very end अगर आपको job भी नहीं मिलती ना, आपको एक connection मिल जाएगा. सही है. Try to build those connections, right? और फिर मैं एक और भी आपके पास मेरे पास example होगी that I can show you. जी. सो एक वो उर्दू में कहते हैं ना कि डाक खाना मिलाना, फाइंडिंग अ कॉमन ग्राउंड, दैट इज ऑल्सो इम्पॉर्टेंट व्हेन यू ट्राइंग टू कनेक्ट विद पीपल, राइट? सो आई सॉ मैं इस कंपनी में काम करना चाहता था एंड आई वाज रिजेक्टेड फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम अप्लाइड to the company. So what I did was it was a small company for like 80 to 100 people. I stalked all of their LinkedIns and ultimately found out that Daniel was someone who had graduated from the same department, right? So I just used that connection to meet him. And then for like we met for like we would meet every few months, and after a year I asked him, KR, I want to work at your company. So by then he knew KR I was reliable and he could refer me and he could recommend me. And then इस तरह Daniel is like a great friend. So मैंने अपने दोस्त भी LinkedIn पे ढूंढे, अपने mentors भी LinkedIn पे ढूंढे. So use this very wisely. Use. अब मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल दिखाता हूँ कि how not to ask for help at LinkedIn on LinkedIn. Let me show you an example. So this is someone who reached out to me, said, today I am attending your webinar and checked your LinkedIn profile. Please review my profile if. So, well, I wasn't very convinced to help this guy because I wasn't really sure what is he looking for, and you know I just felt like this wasn't worth my time, honestly. So yeah. And also, please do not take it the wrong way. Like, I also have to prioritize my time as well. I have to see कि यार what's important for me. अगर कोई बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्प कर, अगर कोई बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से रीच आउट करते हैं ना, आई डू रिप्लाई टू देम. सही है. लेकिन if someone is like clueless and they're not really sure, then I'm not very inclined to reply. Obviously I have some time constraints as well. So this was just to give you some examples ke how to think outside the box and create opportunities for yourself. So chat में बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन आ रहे थे कि यार इंटर्नशिप्स नहीं आ रही, फ्रेश ग्रेजुएट के रोज नहीं आ रहे. You can always create an opportunity for yourself. Do not wait for an opportunity to come. Create those opportunities. Okay. I will conclude here. Over to you, Asim.
Okay. All right. Well, first of all, kudos, Mahad. It was an outstanding session, and I loved every bit of it. And there's like 3 or 5 things I learned from you, even. So thank you so much for that. And I believe
Thank
it
you,
will
Asim.
add.
आपके बगैर ये सेशन हो भी सकता था. Your insights have been very valuable,
Uh,
particularly for Salesforce community.
no, my pleasure, man, on having you on board. And by the way, for the whole audience, me and Mahad we met 2 years back. I'm gonna share the story real quick. We met 2 years back, back when I was working for a company that was called Or2, where one of our pioneers of MVP in Pakistan, Kurutul and Tariq, still works. So I used to work in that company, and we had an event, and I had no idea when I'll be leaving S&P for another company in the next couple of months. We met for an event, and I shared my ideas, and I was still coaching and mentoring a couple of kids back then. I'm still doing it right now. So I met Mahad and we shared ideas, and he shared his card with me. And I'm sorry, Mahad, I lost your card for some reason. I lost it. But yeah, just a couple of weeks back, and when my because I recently became a co-leader for this Karachi admin group. So my co-leader Teham mentioned out that "Okay, there's this guy Mahad, you should meet, and he's a spectacular guy. He's doing this and that." I was like, I've heard this name somewhere. I've heard this name somewhere. And then when I linked him, of course. And again, guys, I'm gonna show you the power of LinkedIn. I had no idea what is Mahad's full name, what is his email, what is his contact. I went on LinkedIn because the only thing I knew that he was doing a startup. The startup name was Launchpad. I was like went on LinkedIn. I said Mahad and Launchpad, nothing popped up. I went on Google. I typed in Mahad and I said the title. What's the title? Career Launchpad, and I found his profile, and I saw that we connected on LinkedIn, and I remembered that okay, I met this guy 2 years back. I was like, oh okay. Then I contacted him over WhatsApp. So it was really good, Mahad, connecting back again
अच्छा,
and having
एक
such a
एग्जांपल मेरी
wonderful.
याद आ गई. सॉरी, ऐसे आपने वो कार्ड की बात की है. सो आई एम
Yeah.
जस्ट शोइंग यू गाइस कि यार आप किस तरह स्टैंड आउट कर सकते हैं. सो दिस इज माय कार्ड. सो अगर मैं किसी को देता हूँ ना तो वो इस तरह हो
Yeah.
जाता है. सो आई जस्ट
Uh,
गिव देम दिस. सही है.
I was like, wow, I thought you broke your card. He gave me his card, and I was like, it broke. I was like, Mahat, your card broke. This is like, no, it is like this. I was like, oh, okay, cool, nice.
This
So
really
yeah,
sticks. So you should
yeah,
like always think outside the box. You know how to
yeah,
stand out.
exactly. Cool.
Sorry, you can.
Right. Yeah, let's wrap up the story. No one is interested in that story, so we're gonna move on to the Q&A section, right, folks? We have our Q&A section next to the DM section. If you can just hover over there, type in your DMs, type in your queries, whatever you're seeking to ask from me or from Mahad, we'll be happy to answer them that. And just one thing I want to mention out again, that I am available on WhatsApp, the Salesforce community group. I'm just going to drop a message real quick for Irsa, for Abu Sufyan, for any other person who's looking to contact me regarding Salesforce queries, anything at all, I'll be happy to help. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong group. Okay, I've dropped a message in the official groups, SF Community Pakistan. Just as we're wrapping up, that's my contact. So any of you can reach out to me over there. Right, Irsa, Abu Sufyan, I believe you guys still had a couple of queries at the end, which I said we will answer at the end. So if you can just type that again in the chat, in the Q&A section, that would be great. We'd be happy to answer you.
अच्छा, एक क्वेश्चन आया था पहले. We missed it.
Yeah.
LinkedIn gives option for making LinkedIn resumes. Is it okay to use this resume? No, because that format is not very well optimized, right?
Hmm.
उसके अंदर दो चार issues हैं. So it is more like आपके प्रोफाइल की वो summary है. That is not your resume. So please do not use that. ऊपर chat में link है. I can share that again. Please use a very well optimized, clean format वाला resume.
Right. That is spot on correct.
आई एम शेयरिंग द लिंक. इसको जिस तरह मैंने आपको ऑर्डर बताया था, प्लीज़ उसके लिहाज से आप इसको एडिट कर लीजिएगा. दिस इज़ द बेस्ट टेम्पलेट दैट यू कैन गेट.
Okay. If there's no question from anyone, we'll just take 2 more minutes for questions. If there are not any, then we'll move forward. Can we have the recording? I'll try to get you the recording, Amreen.
जी
Is it
समझ it free to use. I
anyone?
hope you guys. जी
Sorry, go
जी
ahead, Matt.
हाँ, मैं कह रहा था कि अगर आपको एक मैं लिंक्डइन पे पोस्ट करने का तरीका बता देता हूँ, लाइक पोस्ट का आइडिया दे सकता हूँ कि यू कैन एक्चुअली राइट दैट आई अटेंडेड अ वेबिनार टुडे दैट आई लर्न दिस ऐसा
Mm,
दामाद था, यू कैन टैग अस,
mm,
विल लाइक रीपोस्ट इट और सारा कुछ दैट वुड गिव
mm,
यू विजिबिलिटी इन आवर नेटवर्क्स, सो यू
mm.
कैन आल्सो यूज दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी.
Yeah, absolutely. You can even take a screenshot right now on your own screen, and share that on your LinkedIn post. That pronounces something really loud, because वो लोग pictures हमेशा attract होते हैं as Mahad said. That's absolutely spot on. And if you want us to post, let us know. I have a question about LinkedIn recommendation. Yes, Abu Sufyan. What about LinkedIn recommendations? If you're comfortable, Sufyan, you can speak up as well. You can unmute your mic and speak. That would be more smooth for you.
Okay, who is the right person for recommendation, the technical one or anyone like PM? PM like product manager, project
I
manager.
project manager, yeah.
So, so recommendation दोनों से ले ले, दोनों की recommendation ठीक है, as long as you know someone in a like a professional context is okay. Social context वालों की नहीं लीजिएगा, professional context में जानते तो ले, well and good.
And I'll share something as well about recommendations. Okay, just give me a second, folks. I believe that should help each and every one of you. Let me share my screen as well. Window, I believe this one. And let me know, please, when my window is visible for all of you.
It is.
Perfect. So back when I was in R2, folks. So that was my first full-time job, and it took me 8 months to hunt it down and get to it. और बिल्कुल मेरी story महद आपको follow करती है. I messaged Kurutulan Tariq. She was very well known in this industry at that point in time. She still is a MVP of Salesforce Pakistan. MVP is more valued person in the industry. And at that point in time, there were like only two, Mr. Hamza Siddiqui and Kurutulan Tariq. So I was reaching out to everyone, but I learned by my mistakes that every time I would just drop a message, Assalamu alaikum, mujhe aapki help chahiye. No, that was not working at all for me. So I had to think around something else. So I went on with, making my message smoother. I asked my seniors in the industry, I asked my seniors in my university. I was graduating, it was my last or second last semester. I was like, okay, I need to, I'm messaging these folks, but I'm not getting a response. They were like, okay, what are you messaging? Show us. So I showed them. They were like, this is completely incorrect, you need to improve this, and they improved my messages. So after that, I dropped a message just like one what Mahad dropped to his I believe the person who got him hired. And after that, Kurut replied to me, and she said, okay, we'll set up an interview for you, we're hiring. And we were like, okay. It was completely out of the blue, and I was like, this, I was Kurat, and there were like 3 to 4 folks who was like reaching out to. And after that I was like, कि अब मैंने Salesforce में नहीं जाना, I've given up, it's been 8 months, मतलब वो give up वाला phase start हो गया था. And I was like, okay, अब मैंने नहीं करना. And out of the blue, or two hired me. And from that day I was like, okay, मैं समझ गया था कि give up नहीं करना है आपने. At the end अल्लाह भी आपका हाथ पकड़ेगा, luck भी होगा आपका, और आपकी मेहनत भी लगेगी. All of these things work in parallel to get you where you want to be. ठीक है. So what I was mentioning about these recommendations, कि आप अपनी कंपनी में 10-20 लोगों के साथ काम करते हैं, जैसे 100 के काम करते हैं. अगर आप मल्टीनेशनल में like me, you'll be working with thousands of people. But you need to understand one thing, आपको रिकमेंडेशन किसकी लेनी है? आपको अपने उस कुलीग की नहीं लेनी जिस जो आपके साथ पैरेलल बिल्कुल था. अगर वो कुलीग, अगर आप कोई बहुत ही आउटस्टैंडिंग सीनियर लेवल पोजीशन पे थे, तब वो आपके लिए वाउच करता हुआ अच्छा लगेगा. इन माय पोजीशन वेयर आई वाज अ बिगिनर, सो आई सर्च्ड इन माय कंपनी, और टू वाज अ स्मॉल कंपनी बैक देन. आई थिंक इट्स ग्रोइंग अप राइट नाउ. तो मैंने ना पहले लोग ढूंढे कि यार मैंने किन सीनियर्स के साथ काम किया है, और किसके टाइटल में ना डायरेक्टर हेड वगैरह आ रहा है, ऐसे बिग टाइटल जो आपकी लिंक्डइन पे जब visible ho, so that looks really good on you. So I first of all went on with Kurutalem. She was still a senior back then, but the title that she had, Salesforce MVP, that is the title people die to get or even get a comment on कि आपकी post पे किसी MVP का comment आ जाए. So I had the opportunity. I was working along with her. So I asked her when I was leaving the company, "Yeah, can you just drop me a recommendation?" She's always been super nice. Every person I know in the Salesforce industry is super nice. So she was like, "Okay, just drop me a recommendation message. I'll do that." After that, I went to the technical customer support, the head of customer support, who was Darren Carpenter. He's from UK, and I used to work with him a lot because I was his for admin slash a customer engineer back then for that position. And I was like, okay, I need your help. I just need a recommendation. Could you do that for me? And if you're asking for recommendations from a company that you're leaving, make sure you go on a call. Don't drop them a message. Nobody wants a message. यार ये बंदा जा रहा है, इसने बस हमें लीस्ट इसने हमें इनसे हमारे साथ लीस्ट एफर्ट की एक मैसेज ड्रॉप कर दिया कि यार ओ प्लीज जस्ट गिव मी रिकमेंडेशन. ओनली इफ दैट पर्सन इज नॉट is your friend, तो उसको मैसेज चलेगा. बट any person who's not your friend, who's a senior or a director level person, आपने उनके साथ काम किया हुआ है, and they respect you as well and you respect them as well, but still they owe you you owe them that courtesy कि आप उनको कॉल पे लेके जाएं, you greet them and you share you had a wonderful experience working with them. I mean, you would appreciate them if they would recommend you on LinkedIn. Na? That is, I believe, most profound way I assume. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mahad. You would know better.
एब्सोल्युटली, मतलब यू स्पॉट ऑन. मेरा बस मसला यही होता है कि द मोर द मेरियर.
Yeah,
दैट्स
exactly.
ग्रेट. डायरेक्टर और बोर्ड लेवल
Mm,
किसी से आपको मिल रहा है,
yeah,
अगर
yeah.
उनके साथ आपकी एक्टिविटी नहीं है, तो बेहतर है कि आप अपने
Exactly.
पीएलसी ले लें फिर.
Yeah.
समथिंग इज बेटर देन नथिंग.
Yeah.
तो लेकिन
Right.
एब्सोल्युटली ऑन स्पॉट विद दैट.
Thanks, man.
अच्छा,
And
एक
last
चीज
but
प्लीज बिफोर बिफोर वी कंक्लूड. देखिए,
yeah,
ये जो लिंक्डइन के मैसेजेस वाले तरीके हैं ना, दीज आर द लेसन्स जो आपको कहीं इंटरनेट पे नहीं मिलेंगे. दीज आर हार्ड लर्नड लेसन्स, राइट, मेरे और
yeah.
एहसन भाई के. प्लीज ट्राई टू फॉलो दिस. आई विश आई हैड समवन हु टोल्ड मी. दैट वुड हैव सेव्ड मी अ लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट. Like no one like was there for us to like guide you. Now you guys know. Please work on it and use the opportunity. Bas,
Mm.
thank you.
Thank you, Mahad, for sharing that. But last but not the least, I'm going to share the last recommendation जो कि मुझे बहुत लेट मिली है. I thought I had lost it. इसमें से मैंने दो recommendations और दी थी. एक हमारे CEO को दी थी, लियोन. उनके साथ obviously आप CEO के साथ कितना ही काम कर लेते हैं as a fresher, but
Mhm.
still he had the courtesy. He said yes to me on WhatsApp and on even video call as well. That okay, I'll drop your recommendation. I'll be happy to do that because I was the person जो support के बिल्कुल fresher role में, because R2 had products on App Exchange. The people in the industry knows कि App Exchange क्या products क्या होती हैं. तो मैं उस प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर जब सपोर्ट इंजीनियर था, आई गॉट 5 रिव्यूज एंड 5 रिव्यूज एज अ सपोर्ट इंजीनियर, 5 स्टार 5 रिव्यूज इज नॉट अ इजी जॉब टू गेट एंड आई डिड दैट राइट. तो दैट वाज अ गुड थिंग. बट मुझे सीईओ से रिकमेंडेशन नहीं मिली और मेरे मैनेजर सना कोमल वाज माय मैनेजर, बट उनसे रिकमेंडेशन मैंने बोली थी और मैं करके भूल गया था. एंड आई इवन फॉलोड अप. शी वाज शी इज सुपर बिजी पर्सन, आई नो दैट एज वेल. तो फिर मैंने उनको दोबारा ना एक फॉलो के बाद बोला नहीं. एंड चेक द कर्टेसी ऑफ हर. एक महीना हो चुका था फॉर मी टू, आई हैड जॉइंड एसएनपी, आई हैड फॉरगॉट अबाउट एवरीथिंग, and she still went out of her way and gave me that recommendation. So again, have your connections really good, have your network on good terms with people who okay, yaar, these are people excelling in the industry, and along with them you would learn as well, and you would still be in the network, and if something good is happening in the industry, you would know things prior to everybody else in the industry. Okay, so that is some of the, I believe, major things I've learned so far in these 3 or 4 years working in the Salesforce industry. I hope this helps everyone and everybody can understand the gist and the struggle and the phase you go through. And again, सबकी जर्नी, किसी की भी जर्नी ना किसी से सेम नहीं हो सकती. मेरी महत से सेम नहीं हो सकती, महत की मुझसे सेम नहीं हो सकती. हो सकता है हमने लिंक्डइन पे मैसेजेस करके हमें जॉब मिल गई, हो सकता है आपको डायरेक्ट अप्लाई करने पे मिले. दैट कुड हैपन एज वेल. यू वुड डायरेक्टली जस्ट अप्लाई एंड यू वुड जस्ट गेट अ कॉल एंड यू वुड गेट हायर्ड. ठीक है. तो या, I think that sums up the whole meeting. Anything else you want to add, Mahat, or
No, no,
conclude,
I
or we
think
can just
thank you
say,
so much everyone for showing up. If you have any concerns, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn and say, "Okay, yaar, we met at the Salesforce event." Or
yeah,
I would be happy to help you guys. Thank you, Asan, for having me. It was lovely talking to you. I would have
mm,
appreciated if you guys had like been more engaging and interactive. It would have been better. Like, and
yeah,
still good. Thank you so
yeah.
much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mahat. Allah Hafiz.